Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show, and it's time to get your mutual fund portfolio queries answered because how can you invest in a mutual fund? How can you align that particular investment to a particular financial goal? To help you navigate through all of these questions, today I have with me Hemant Rustagi from Wise Invest. Hemant, good evening and welcome to the show. And just in case you're watching the show live and you want to send across your questions, you can do that via WhatsApp number, which is 865-797-4571. And you can also email us your questions on themoneyshow@etnow.tv. So let's begin with our first viewer as well, who's on the phone line with us, Mr. William. Hi, good evening, sir. How are you doing? Mr. William, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Do you? Yes. Hello?
I can hear you now. Good
Hello?
evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes,
Thank you so much for sending us
good
your
evening.
question.
Yes, good evening. Yes.
Okay, so the details that you've sent across, as per that, you have an SIP of 1 lakh going on in HDFC Flexi Cap, and you want to know if you need to switch this to HDFC multicap, and because it seems that you've been talking to a few people, and according to them, Flexi Cap returns are better in the long run. And is that the only question? A fund category change?
Yes. That is the only question. I'm told that flexi caps are nothing but multi-cap funds in disguise. Is that true? Can I stick on with my fund, with my investment?
Okay. Sure. What is your criteria of being in a flexi cap or a multi cap? You want a larger exposure to large cap?
Exactly. No, I want a larger, exposure to mid cap,
Okay.
and small cap,
Okay.
especially mid cap. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So.
Sorry. No,
That's okay.
I understand that mid cap stocks are, they're having, they are being overpriced. So I don't know whether I can safely invest in mid cap funds.
Okay. Do you
That's my
already
second
have a
question.
mid cap fund? You don't have any mid cap funds in your portfolio.
I don't have a mid cap fund.
Okay.
This is my only portfolio. My portfolio has only one fund. This investment is only in flexi cap.
Okay. All right. So going further, do you have any specific goal aligned to this investment?
Yes, exactly. My intention is my aim is to acquire at least 5 crores in in 8 to 10 years. In 8 to 10 years.
And you've been investing since how long?
Yeah, I started my investment last year.
Okay, all right. In HDFC Flexi Cap. All right.
Yes.
Any specific reason why you prefer only an HDFC Flexi Cap and HDFC Multi Cap?
I don't know. I heard that flexi caps are, generally they are safer. But,
No, the HDFC AMC. Any connection with HDFC AMC, or you have a bank account in HDFC who's comfortable with this?
HDFC, I heard that it's safe with HDFC. It's one of the largest AMCs, number one.
All right.
And flexi-cap funds, they rely largely on large cap stocks. So
Sure.
I thought this could be safe. At the same time, on the other hand, I developed a doubt that in the long run I may lose a lot, since multi-cap funds might perform better in the long run than flexi-cap funds.
Okay. All right. So let's get all of these questions answered, and Hemant, let's take it one by one. Let's begin with helping him understand the difference between a flexi cap category and a multi-cap category.
Well, Kavita, I think this is a very interesting question. And in fact, there is one fund, but I think there are a number of questions attached to that. So let me just address what you said. What is the difference between a flexi cap fund and multi-cap funds? I think he's right when he says that most of the flexi cap funds have a bias towards the large cap. In fact, if you analyze the portfolio of HDFC Flexi Cap today, almost 75% is invested in the large cap, and I think so is the case with most of the flexi cap fund. Even though the fund managers have the flexibility of investing across different markets cap, it's true that most of the funds have a bias towards the large cap. When we talk about multi-cap funds, the definition of the multi-cap fund is that the fund manager has to invest in all the three segments of the market, which is large cap, mid cap, and small cap. And he has to maintain a minimum allocation of 25% to each of these three segments. The remaining 25% can be invested at the discretion of the fund manager, where the fund manager see whether there is more potential in the large cap, mid cap, or small cap. Invariably, if you analyze the portfolio of most of this multi-cap fund, you will see that this 25% is getting allocated to large cap and mid cap. So clearly, the definition of both these fund category is different. The risk profile is different. The potential of return is different, right? And of course, the suitability has to be different. Now, of course, it is possible. Like he said, is investing 1 lakh rupees per month, but he has only one fund. So, which clearly means that almost 75-80% of the portfolio allocation right now is happening in the large cap, which, considering that he has a time horizon of 10 years, there is definitely scope for him to include allocation to or increase allocation to mid cap and small cap. So keeping that in mind, I think multi-cap category is a very good category. The best thing is that you can be very sure that the minimum allocation to all the three segments will be maintained, and without you having to worry about rebalancing, the fund manager does it on your behalf. So I think looking at his profile, I feel that a multi-cap fund can be a good option. The second is he also mentioned specifically about he wants to increase allocation to mid-cap. Now, investing the entire amount in one fund can always be risky. Even the best of the fund managers will go through a phase where their fund will not do well, not because suddenly their fund becomes bad, just because also there is a rotation of sectors within the marketplace and segment. So I think my advice would be at least to have two funds. So my recommendation would be that he can look at one multi-cap fund, which can be HDFC multi-cap, that as he mentioned, and include one large and mid-cap. Now, the definition of the large and mid-cap is that minimum 35% has to be invested in both large cap and mid-cap, and the remaining 30% can be invested at the discretion of the fund manager. So I think combination of these two will work well. He will have two different funds, different philosophies, or maybe two different fund houses. So he can invest 50,000 in HDFC multi-cap fund and maybe 50,000 in Motilal Oswal large and mid-cap, where the allocation to mid-cap is slightly higher than what is being allocated to the large cap. So I think a combination of these two will work. Let me come to his target. He said his target is around 5 crore in 10 years. If I assume a return of 12%, he will have to invest slightly more than 2 lakh to get there. So obviously there is a gap. Either he has to increase the allocation or maybe extend the time horizon by a couple of years.
All right. Is there anything else, Mr. William, that you want to ask Hemant?
Yeah, I have a doubt. Actually, I have the understanding that if I go with an AMC that is backed by a bank, for example, ICICI, SBI, or HDFC, I have a feeling I may be wrong, because I'm an English teacher, and I'm not off with financial matters. I may be wrong, but I have a feeling that if I go with a fund backed by a bank, it could be safer. Am I right?
Yeah, you have that comfort level, and a lot of investors like you feel the same, Hemant, which is why also, we have SBIs, ICICI, HDFCs, as one of the top 3 AMCs also. So the comfort level is definitely there, but then as per strategy, not necessary that you need to have your money in a fund house backed by a bank, right?
Okay.
So I think I can understand. As an investor, you can always have a comfort level with a certain brand, or the fact that what is the pedigree of the fund house. Like in this case, he is comfortable with investing with a mutual fund where the promoter is a bank. But let me tell you that the regulations are same for everyone. What matters in a mutual fund is in which category of fund you're investing and what is the quality of the portfolio. What is the track record of the fund manager or the AMC. Not so much, who is the promoter, because like I mentioned, the regulations are same for everyone. If that is the case, that he still wants to go with for example, you can look at even ICICI. ICICI approved as a large and mid-cap fund. That again is, I think, equally good. You can maybe look at that.
Right, Mr. William, hope that answers all your questions. Let's move on to our other viewer, which is Ridhima, and she's written this question from Shimla. She's been investing in a few funds, and the way I can see it, these are all HDFC funds, once again, Hemant. So she's got HDFC Multi-Asset, HDFC Flexi Cap, HDFC Balance Advantage, Banking and Financial, HDFC Multi-Cap, HDFC Defence Fund, HDFC LSS Tax Saver. Only one ICICI Pru Large and Mid-Cap is the category of which she has a fund of the different AMC. But then her goal is to have a corpus of 1.5 to 2 CR. and this she's planning to achieve in almost 7 to 8 years. So a good amount of investment though, but then again a very concentrated portfolio in one AMC. So she definitely needs diversification, and also what I can see is she has bought almost all kind of categories in a portfolio. She's got a sectoral fund, she's got a balance advantage, she's got a flexi cap, multi cap, defense as well. So she's picked up good categories, but I think too much of concentration.
Yes, Kavita, I think I agree with you. There are two aspects to this question here. One, if you look at in terms of how much corpus can she, create over the next 7 or 8 years. Unfortunately, because we don't have how much she has accumulated so far, we can't really say whether the target will be achieved or not. But second important aspect is there are 8 funds for 27,000 rupees of SIP. 7 funds belong to HDFC AMC. Now, we know that if you look at the performance of these funds that they're in the portfolio, they've been doing well. But I think it's never a great idea to invest primarily only in one mutual fund scheme, because it has happened, and I think it will continue to happen even in future, that the strategy of most of the funds of a fund house is similar. So what happens when the strategy does not work? You find that most of the funds of that fund house will not work, in line with what is the performance of the peer group. So it's never a great idea. Second thing is that there are 2 sector funds I can see there. There's a banking fund, there's also a defense fund. My view is that both the sectors have the potential to do well. But again, their monitoring is different. You need to know when to exit, when to enter. So it's always good that a retail investor, someone who's trying to build a corpus over a longer period, should stay away from these. So my recommendation would be that, one, to consolidate the portfolio, also invest in schemes of some other mutual funds. So out of the existing fund, my recommendation would be that she can retain 3 fund with a different amount, which means that she has to increase the allocation to them. The one is HDFC multicap, she can invest 6,000. There is HDFC ELSS tax saver, where she's investing 3, she can continue with that. And ICICI Pru large and mid, where she can invest 6,000. I would recommend discontinuing SAP. She can consider that with the rest of the funds, and include 2 funds in the portfolio. One is Parag Flexi Cap, invest 6,000 in that, and one large and mid cap fund, which is Kotak Equity Opportunity, where she can invest 6,000. So consolidate the portfolio, reduce the exposure to the HDFC AMC, because there is an opportunity for you to benefit from the expertise of different fund houses. So why not go for that?
All right, we don't have her on the phone line, but then we can hope that all her questions are answered. And with that, it's a wrap on the show. Thank you so much, Hemant, for taking time out and helping our viewers with their financial portfolio queries. And just in case you also want to send across your questions, you can do that on our WhatsApp number and email ID. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.